Hello Libra, great to have you here. My name is Shona. Today's reading is a general love forecast. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Libra. I see a major compromise being made, okay? What I'm feeling is I see two people coming together and with very, very different ideologies coming together to try to make something work. I do feel that this can pertain to people in your work environment coming together to somehow read over instructions, manuals, procedures, and trying to find a way to either rewrite things, redo things, or to streamline processes to make the work environment a lot more pleasant for everybody else. What I'm also sensing is that I feel that it seems to me as if you have this sense that you have a higher calling, that you have this sense of order, of righteousness, of divine protection is what it seems like to me. So you feel almost as if there is a higher order, a higher truth, a higher vibration that you are that you are currently at or you're trying to get to. And while you're there, you're trying to get everyone up to your vibration. So there's this sense of authoritative air about you when you talk, when you communicate with other people, when you disseminate information, and you do want people to know that, this isn't about me. This is more about like integrity, personal responsibility to ourselves and to other people. So I see you on a pulpit, I see you preaching, and I see you trying to let people understand that I'm not out for myself. I am here to speak some other higher truths, higher wisdom. So I feel like you're taking the ego out of this situation and you're trying to be a better person, and you're trying to tell others as well how to be a better person, what's the best thing that we need to do, and how we can all come together and make things work. So I definitely feel a sense of a truce being reached, a compromise being reached with other people in your environment. I do feel other people are a little bit more self-interested than you are. Okay, I do see that coming through. I see you fighting for more of the humanitarian values. And I do sense that I do see two people around you. One of them is an earth sign, one of them is a water sign. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The water sign is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And I do sense almost like they're looking on at you and they're trying to figure out how can we all work together. So I do feel that you're catching somebody's attention, okay? And you're trying to elevate everyone to this higher, I guess, state of ascension is what I can best describe that as. Now, in terms of your financial situation, I do sense that things that have been rocky are going to be gradually straightened out and smooth out. I do feel some insecurity when it comes to your interpersonal family relationships, and these are the things that will be your main focus coming through for this month. Okay, trying to straighten out interpersonal relationships, and especially like relationships that you have a lot of emotional involvement in. I do sense that's where your energy is best directed. So rather than reaching out to the common folks, like the people in your environment, it is best to get to the fundamentals, which is, mending, repairing family issues, taking care of your home, taking care of practical responsibilities in the home environment where you are currently living. People that you consider family, try to fix those relationships first, okay? Because, like I said, if we want to promote, to implement any changes out in the world, we do have to get to the root of where we come from, to understand where we're headed, to understand what values we ascribe to and we abide by. So that's going to be very important coming through. I do see some major breakthroughs regarding family relationships and mending relationships that have been problematic and broken in the past, okay? I do feel that it seems as if you are alone in this fight, but I do sense that situations will get better for you. I do sense like over a month and a half from now, So that's going to bring us towards the end of financial success, as well as getting the recognition, getting the accolades, getting traction in the work environment to have your to restore your public image, to get others to see you in a very positive light. So I definitely see that coming through in a month and a half. It tells me 5 weeks, but I would say like a month and a half. So, you know, a little bit like 5, 6 weeks. So that's going to bring us to your end. So expenditures, that things that you have to throw money at to make go away, not 4 months, 4 weeks time. I do feel that this unburdening process happening for you, where if you had to a cross to bear, if you've had some issues coming through, either when it pertains to like financial resources, or even like lacking that sense of direction, or not being able to move ahead and extract yourself to, you know, get where you need to be. I do see that uplifting for you. Okay, so this cross over your heart, I do feel that being released, and you're going to feel very, very free and very unencumbered, so that you can move on to the next stage. Okay, in terms of love relationships, for a lot of you, I do see transitions. Okay, I see transitioning from potentially a water sign to a an earth sign for a lot of you. So I do feel Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, so the transition is happening. You might have both of these suitors in your environment, and you might want to be single, or you might want to transition from one relationship to the next. And I do feel you have somebody lined up on the heels of that. What the other thing that I am sensing as well is if you've been ruminating over something, like overthinking some things, or taking a rest away from a situation, I do feel you unburdening yourself, dropping the baggage and moving on. And it is advisable for you to move on ahead, because I feel almost as if there's this sense of energies around you, and it's telling me like a sense of entrapment. Somebody's doing something to either rub you the wrong way on purpose. So, and try to see this situation, not take it personally, see it for what it is, and realize that you are ascending, and other people, you know, as much as we want to bring other people up to our standards, to our vibration, you are alone in this fight. So it's best for you to take care of yourself, do what you need to do, know what you are about, and don't let other people's energies affect you. Okay, so I guess the next 2 weeks is more of reconciliation. It's also a period of readjustment from your end, and I do sense that's one of the main focus that you should be cognizant about, and that's where you're supposed to be. Okay, so don't let the problems escalate anymore. It's entrapment. People are purposely doing what it is that they feel would get a rise out of you, would get a reaction from you. So, you know, it's best to cut your losses, move on, okay? And I do feel like in a way the public image situation improving, and a lot of money coming through as well in a month, and I do see things looking up for you. So let's see. Next up, we have Capricorn. So I'm going to shuffle the cards, Capricorn. Give me a moment. All right, Scorpios. So the first thing out here is we do have your financial situation getting a lot better. Okay, so if you are in any type of a consultancy job where you are getting paid on a client basis, I do feel that you have a lot of people seeking your expertise. I do see you a lot of emails being a lot of emails coming through, a lot of communication via email, and this deals with more official, documents and clients and people coming through seeking your expertise. And as a result of it, your income generating potential is going to be very, very high this week. For others of you who are in a either an academic environment or even in a new business environment, and you're still kind of like either at the mid career level or entry level career track, I do feel there might be a little bit of opposition when it comes to pushing your projects ahead, okay? I see you dealing with a person in a position of authority. They might allow you, it seems to me like they're like the gatekeeper. So I feel like you're pitching something to them, and they're going to shoot a lot of questions your way to make sure you know what you're doing, because I feel like they might believe there might be some holes in your theories, in your plans. They're not doing this to be malicious, but I do feel they're doing this to get you to really solidify and to be really strong and firm and assertive, and be sure in your projects and what you believe in, okay? So I see this back and forth, but don't take it personally. I do sense that you have to do some revisions to push some type of project ahead, but you're going to be successful, okay? So this person is actually they show tough love, but I feel like they're a benevolent person in your life, and they're trying to help you to provide a little bit more structure to your thinking, which is good to me. It seems like a it feels like a mentor. It feels like somebody in a position of power that has great sway. I'm getting this message for those of you in governments and you have to do some type of budgeting, or you have to like implement some type of budget reform, or you're trying to get something off the ground. I do feel multiple revisions coming through. I do see the situation will bear fruit. Interestingly, that's also your birthday time, so I feel like the energy is supportive for you to take a second glance at this situation and to move forward. For those of you in a relationship with a an earth sign. So this is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I do see there are some major blockages in the communication between the two of you. I don't feel that you have a common path, you have common goals, and I don't feel this is somebody that is preordained, that is walking along your karmic path anymore. They are being like blocked out of your life. Whenever I see blockages in a reading, I think of them as like, temporary blockages or permanent blockages. This seems to me to be a little bit more permanent. You can change this situation around, but what I honestly see is that in the love front, so the earth sign is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. In the love front, I see a new person coming through for you. And I see a much younger energy, very vivacious, possibly a fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, or somebody that exhibits the qualities of someone who is very passionate, who is a little bit of a truth seeker. They're very, they are sparked off by higher truths, higher wisdom. They are very adventurous. They seem to me to be full of passion. They might come blazing in your life, but they might not stay a long time. A lot of you are aware of this, but there is this very strong attraction towards this person. And I feel it going both ways. I feel like they look up to you, they respect you a great deal, and they look up to you almost like a mentor. And I feel like, their admiration, their appreciation, their attention on you makes you feel a lot more self-confident, makes you feel good about your self-esteem. It's a ego boosting type of energy where both parties, like they look up to you, You like being around them. So I feel like, but I don't feel it's stable. I feel like there's a time limit in this situation for some reason. And I feel almost as if you like this person. I see hesitation from your end about getting involved with this person. I feel that you fear gossip. You fear something. I don't know why. It seems like they're younger, so it might be just stigma associated with dating somebody significantly younger. I do feel a lot of like this public image that you're trying to maintain. Okay, like it seems to me like you're trying to maintain a public image. And it seems to me that you're very conscientious about the things that you do in the public, in the limelight, to preserve your public image. So even though you like this person, I don't see you going for it. I don't see you getting involved because you fear gossip. You fear some type of reprisal. And I just want you to, take the time and take a second look at this situation, okay? A lot of you are very, very concerned about establishing a stable, harmonious home environment. Whatever that means, it seems to me as if you want all your relationships to be a certain way, to be predictable, to be, um, to look good in the public eye. That's what it feels like to me. I don't feel that you're doing this because you're superficial. I don't feel Scorpios are superficial people. But what I feel is like you want things a certain way. You want people to be a certain way. You want, your ideals to match up with the public image and with your image. And it seems to me like there are a lot of confusing energies. And going back to what I mentioned with the yearly reading, because I feel like the energy is not clearing up from that yearly reading. So the message for the yearly reading is all that glitters is not gold. If you haven't taken a look at it, I would urge you, it's midway through the year, clearing up. I feel you harnessing your energy to increase your income. So I feel that you are very status, very income, very public image conscious, and you're making decisions based on social expectations, and you're not being true to your heart, to your higher ideals, to your needs, and to what your soul really yearns for and craves for, okay? So all that glitters is not gold. All the wealth that we accumulate cannot buy us true emotional fulfillment. So just keep that in mind, because I feel like there's somebody that you like, they don't exactly fit the mold, and you're not even entertaining the thought. Whatever the situation is, I feel like they're coming up in the upright position, so they are sincere and they're waiting. I feel like this sense of waiting back and forth. No one's really budging in this situation. So a lot of you might be transitioning from an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, to this fire sign, Sagittarius, um, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. But you're a little bit, you're like flip-flopping. You're not really sure what you need to do because there's a lot of fear about gossip and your reputation and your public image. What I do sense as well on the love front overall, for those of you who are single, I do feel a lot of options. I have here the Eight of Wands, which is traditionally, the arrows of love, next to the Ten of Cups, which is, it's basically getting that really splendid emotional fulfillment coming through because other people are reaching out to you and they want to be with you and they're showing their love, appreciation, and affection, okay? I see you somewhat looking at this skeptically, and I feel like you're pleased, you're flattered, but I feel like your main focus for the rest of this month is finance, work, career, public image, and all of that is it's going well for you. So take a step back and don't work yourself to the ground, okay? I feel like you don't need to worry. What I'm also sensing is be very careful about overworking, because I feel like the last week of the month, you don't get sick very easily, Scorpios, but when you do, it is pretty bad. So take care of yourself, getting enough sleep, protecting yourself. I feel from like accidents, like physical exertion, heat exhaustion if you're in a warmer climate. I see heat exhaustion, dehydration. I do feel like flu, cold, something affecting like the head flu. I see congestion. I see like I just see you overworked and things like that. So, take care of yourself on that end. I do feel if you're overworked, you're going to start to see these physical symptoms manifest themselves. It might take you another month to recover, okay? So be careful about that. I see you taking a medical regimen for like another month in order to recoup your strength. Um, Let me see if there's anything else coming through. um, be careful of where you tread, who you tell your information to. I see troublemakers, I see gossip. So tread lightly, okay? Don't disclose your information. Don't tell other people, this is how I make my money. Let me give you some pointers, because I feel them, potentially messing that up, or the information gets out and you lose your advantage, okay? Let me see if there's anything else coming through. I do feel you're getting communication from an earth sign and it's very persistent. I don't know if you have left them behind, but I feel like they're hurting. I feel like they're hurting and they're trying to get some information from you. They're trying to get closure. So you're getting a lot of news coming through, but I feel like you don't really want to respond. You might read it, but you're just like, nah, I don't really want to respond at this time. I just want to move on. There is a pull. There's a person from the past, and there's a pull, a very magnetic attraction pulling you in. And I feel somebody who is of a different culture, of different ethnicity, different way of life, different, family values. I feel somebody who's very different from you. They seem to me to be very spiritual. They are at least very self-aware, very spiritual, despite their age. I do see a massive age gap. And their energy is very attractive to you, but it's a little bit unsettling for you as well. So I feel like a lot of you are kind of like in a good station right now in life, and you don't want to take risks. But I do feel that, doing the same things over and over and over again is not going to bring new energies into our life. So, think about what it is that you want out of a relationship partner, and then seek those characteristics in the external environment. When those qualities show up in somebody, it is really important for you to give them a chance, okay? Just a thought. All right, so next up is Sagittarius. Give me a moment, Sagittarius. I'm going to shuffle your cards. Okay, so Sagittarius, one of the things coming in quite strongly for the next 2 weeks is that I see you somewhere in like a public environment, and I see other people asking you a lot of questions. So it seems to me as if you're in a situation. It could be court. It could be, just like job interviews. I feel court job interviews coming out quite prominently. And what I'm feeling as well is people are asking you a lot of questions, and you have to think fast on your toes, okay? You have to like prepare for battle. That's what I'm feeling. If it's a court situation, you're preparing for battle, and you're going to be quite victorious. Be very careful about how you communicate and aim for short, concise explanations, because I feel like people around you are a little bit like it seems to me like they have attention problems. They're self-interested. They have other things on their mind. So the sooner they ask a question, the sooner you can answer it, the better. So be very rehearsed, be very clear and concise and short with your question or with your answers, and don't go off on some type of long-winded rant, because I feel like that might be against you, okay? That might hurt you. So just keep that in mind. I do sense job interviews and things like that where you have to prove yourself. So just know that your skills, your expertise, whatever you have on your resume, your life experiences, make up who you are. There is no need for you to have to like prove yourself to people. Okay, so just aim for a more relaxed approach, because I feel you like kind of agitated, kind of like highly um I feel like wound up a little bit too tightly. So you might perceive everything as a little bit of a competition, and you might feel like, I need to prove myself. I don't feel you need to do anything of that nature. So just be careful about that, okay? For those of you who are traveling, I do see some travel delays. I do see some vehicle problems coming through the end of the month, and be very careful about speeding. I see some traffic stuff. So it could be court cases regarding traffic tickets. It could be something like that regarding some type of moving violation, vehicles. Just be careful about not driving too fast. Um, we are ending this month and we're transitioning into the time of Leo, and Leo is a fire sign, so right off the bat they tend to move a little bit faster. So just be mindful about, aggression, road rage, and moving violations like traffic tickets and things like that. What I feel as well is I see a lot of you might be involved with an earth sign, okay? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I see you wanting to confront this person. I see a little bit of combative energy. I feel almost like the other person is just sitting there, like going about their lives, minding their own business. I feel you like almost like a sneak attack. I feel you coming on a little bit aggressively, and I feel you like ready to fight. And I feel like you've had it. Like I feel you're itching for a battle. You're itching for some type of confrontation. You're coming prepared, and they're not. And I feel like whatever it is, you're going to win this battle against them. Okay. For others of you, I do see a water sign. This is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. What I'm sensing is I feel you have to let the situation go. So drop the person, drop the baggage, and start over. I don't feel the situation being resolved. So what it's saying to me is, unless you drop the baggage, which means if this is a ongoing situation, I feel them like learning their lesson. I feel them coming back in, trying to make nice, trying to repair the rift in the relationship, trying to offer emotional support, trying to tell you, I'll do this, I'll do that, can we compromise, can we make things work again. All of it is just very cheap talk. I don't see any behavioral changes coming through with the people that you're dealing with, honestly. They are who they are, and I feel like if you have a very combative energy that's coming through. So it's really important for you to pick your battles. Don't overexert yourself. Don't beat a dead horse. Don't hit your head against a brick wall, because I feel like there's this sense of stubbornness about you. Pick your battles, okay? If dealing with the earth sign, I do feel you will have a victory in this confrontation. You will get the answers that you need. When dealing with the water sign, I do feel a little bit of manipulation possibly coming in from their end. and you don't see it. You don't see these subtle signs. You don't see these red flags. You don't see these subtle manipulative acts coming in, because they're a different element from you, and it's also the opposite element. You're very like, what you see is what you get, and you don't expect other people to be very crafty and conniving. And I want you to be careful. If you're dealing with a new water sign, brand new, never dated before, just recently enter the picture, or somebody just brand new, I do feel that this person has a lot of caring feelings for you, okay? And they want to be around. They want to give you emotional support. But I feel like because you're very, very independent, you feel that relying on other people is a weakness. So you might not take up on this offer. And I feel like if you need the emotional support, if you need that spiritual guidance, that wisdom, if you need a shoulder to lean on, or just, somebody to bounce ideas off of, this water sign would be a very, very good person for you to do that with, if it is a new person. And if you're not like romantically involved with them, I do feel a sense of camaraderie coming through. Um, Let me see if there's any last minute thing coming in here. For those of you who have been, so let me just say that, Sagittarius is a very, very masculine sign, okay? And for the women, Sagittarius, well, people that date men in general. So whatever gender you identify as, and if you date men, if you consider yourself more of the feminine Sagittarius, I feel like a lot of the times you're looking for love, and you're looking for, people to be with. And you bring on board a lot of masculine energy. And I feel like it seems to me like it might get in the way of you trying to find harmonious relationships. It might get in the way of you compromising with other people. And it might get in the way of you trying to, soften up a little bit, leaving yourself feeling vulnerable. So I feel like you come to social interactions and relationships with your guard up, okay? And it's really important for you to try to find a balance between the feminine and masculine traits within yourself. Mainly because I do have the Empress in the reverse position, and the Empress deals with like the feminine ideals. It deals with the feminine traits, the feminine qualities. And I feel for a lot of you, you feel as if, nurturing is like putting food on the table, paying rent, making sure somebody is like physically taken care of. The feminine qualities actually extend beyond that. It means, nurturing somebody, nurturing their soul, nurturing their emotional state, nurturing their body. So I feel like it's important to get back to the fundamentals of how to really take care and be emotionally available, and to be nurturing to another person. It doesn't show any weakness. I feel like a lot of you might shy away from these qualities, these feminine traits, because you feel like, oh, everyone should take care of themselves. Why do I need to take care of another person? If they obviously can't take care of themselves, they're probably weak. Don't equate feminine nurturing qualities with weakness, with the inability to be independent. Those two things are not mutually exclusive, okay? For men too, Sagittarius men, or people that exhibit more of the stronger masculine traits, it is really important for you to incorporate both these feminine masculine ideals, because I feel like it is really going to help you, um, I guess, like repair and naturalize, normalize your existing relationships and interpersonal relationships, okay? So we're starting out with this fire and water. And I feel like there's a lot of combative energy, but towards the end of this month, you're going to realize the value in compromise, in softening up, in revealing more of your vulnerabilities. And because you're doing that, you're going to have a lot more communication, harmonious exchanges between you and other people. So keep that in mind, okay? So I feel like tempering the fire and the water, the masculine and the feminine traits within yourself, that's going to create a more holistic person, a more well rounded person, so that you can achieve what you want without having to fight for everything. Okay? If you feel like you've been too hard, soften up a little bit. If you feel that you've been too soft and people are walking all over you, it is time to, find a middle ground and to toughen yourself up a little bit, to learn to say no, to protect boundaries, okay? So I feel like there's a little bit of a compromise coming through the end of this month. What I do sense is for those of you looking for work, I do feel new work opportunities coming through very, very shortly. I do see a lot of you might be going on job interview, might be looking for work. I do see something very emotionally stable and very emotionally fulfilling in terms of work coming through for you, but it's not going to be this month. I feel and once again tempering the nurturing side. Even on job interviews, speak from the heart. Speak from the heart. Don't be long-winded, but speak from the heart and really let people see what drives you, what motivates you, what values you bring to the table. I feel like that's going to be important rather than, answering these textbook questions. It's really important for them to see a little bit more of your vulnerable side, okay? So in social interactions, that would help you greatly, all right? So I wish you the So Capricorn, July. Okay, Capricorns. What's coming in for you here is a lot of people. I have a lot of court cards. I have a lot of people just showing up in your spread, and unfortunately, they're all in the reverse position. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say here is that I feel people are coming to you with problems. I don't know why. I have like a lot of family members. I have a lot of children. So if you're in a family unit of your own and you have children and you have like spouses that you have to deal with and coordinate events with and coordinate ideas with, I feel like they're going to be a little bit of an annoyance to you for this month, for the next 2 weeks at least. If you are going back, if you are dealing with like the maternal paternal household, I see a lot of children, and I see some discord, some clashes in parenting styles. And I feel almost as if some of you might be dealing with a situation where you're either a parent that is a little bit frustrated with the young ones, or you're dealing with somebody who has, children and who is very, very frustrated. They might be emotionally checked out and you feel like, oh, I need to intervene because this is wrong. This is not good for the child. But then again, you don't want to step on anybody's toes. So I feel like the presence of a lot of young people around you, you might be in a teaching capacity as well. And you're analyzing the way that the children are treated at home and how that's not conducive to teamwork, how that's not conducive to their well being and things like that. So you feel as if You really want to have a talk with their parents, but you don't want to step on anybody's toes. And you feel like, if I do this to one child, I'm going to have to do it to all the other kids. And I'm going to have like these endless, mindless conversations with the parents, and nothing's really going to change. And I feel like it's really important for you to emotionally detach yourself and, pick your battles. And when it comes to children, and when it comes to, seeing their behaviors and seeing a lot of things in their lives that need correcting, but we as a bystander, as a good Samaritan, can't affect any outcome. It's a little bit heartbreaking. So I feel like you are at a point where you have to emotionally detach yourself from this situation, and to realize that you have to pick your battles, and to realize that you're in their lives for a very short period of time. Do whatever you can to help them, and hope that in the time that you spend with them, you have, taught them important lessons, and hope that they have taken away those lessons to help them later on when they're in a dire situation. Okay, so that is the best that you can do, I feel. I see a lot of young children, and I see them misbehaving. I see them like going astray, and, not getting the structure, the support, the guidance from their own family members. And I feel like you're starting to realize how detrimental this is to their upbringing, to their well-being. And it does make you very sad, but I do sense that you can't step on anybody's toes. You can't affect outcome if the children are not yours. Okay, if you see anybody in a domestic abuse situation, that is the time for you to step in. So that's perfectly within your rights to intervene. But aside from that, I don't feel that it's good for you to kick up a fuss over this. Okay. I see in love and relationships, I do feel a lot of you, there's this sense of like going your separate ways, emotionally checking out of a relationship, of a friendship, and going your separate ways. I feel like the one person is like very stuck in the past. I feel like it might be the other person that you're dealing with. I don't see you being stuck in the past. I feel like you're dealing with someone who's very stubborn. They're refusing to change. And you're realizing that you've done a lot of growth, a lot of self work, a lot of analysis on yourself. And once again, pick your battles. You can't make this person change, you can't force it upon them. So I see two people like going their separate ways because you have outgrown one another, and you don't really have a common thread of commonality anymore. You don't even enjoy the same things. You have really nothing in common keeping the relationship or the friendship together. So I do feel that, okay? But on the heels of that, I definitely feel new friendships, new social circles, new love relationships, even trying to break through for you. So it's really important for you to pick your battles, bring your cup of love, of friendship, of devotion, of affection. Bring it to somebody who is walking along your same path, okay? I do sense that you're going to be a lot happier. You're going to realize the value in that. So don't beat a dead horse. Cut your losses, pick your battles. Those are the three. I feel like they're war cries. Capricorns, you really need to do this. Um, at the heart of the reading here, I have the Death card, and the Death card indicates major transformations, major changes. And at the center of the reading, if that's something that comes up, it means that the energy is pushing you for newness, for new experiences, new group associations, new relationships, and things like that. And if you take that mentality, it's going to serve you well. I do feel new jobs and new projects coming through for those of you who are looking. Okay. What I sense is that the job, when it comes in, it doesn't feel like it's something that you want to do. I don't feel it might pay a little bit less. It might be something that you're just like, okay, I'll take it because I've been looking for a while. But after a while, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna do that for 5 months, 7 months, 9 months, and then I'm gonna shift to something else. I feel that you're a little bit premature in dismissing this opportunity, because I do sense that it's gonna bring a lot of new skills. It will teach you new skills that you need to learn, and it is something that they're saying It is good for you at this moment in time. So take up on this opportunity, and I feel that it will be good for you, okay? So just know that it is temporary. It is exactly what you need to do at this present moment. Um, I see others of you. So what I'm seeing is you might be in a threesome type of a love situation. So a lot of you are like wedging yourself between couples. You might be dealing with a water sign, and they are either married or they have some lingering attachments with their exes. Okay, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Others of you are dealing with a fire sign, and there's a lot of discord in these relationships, mainly because there are too many people involved. There's so much energy interference, and it's causing discord left and right. So I want you to be mindful of this and to extract yourself, because you're dealing with like a lot of energies, and it's confusing, it's conflictual, and you can't affect the outcome when you're stuck in other people's relationships and their karmic lessons. So I feel like a lot of you might be wedged in between a married couple, either a fire sign couple. They don't have to be both fire signs, but the one that you're involved with is a fire sign. So Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, or a water sign. Um, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So be mindful of that. It's not going to go anywhere. I see this wheel turning. It's like doing the same things over and over and over again. And they're not going to leave their spouses, their partner, for you. So just keep that in mind. I see you dumping all your energy, your resources, your time, your emotions, and you end up very depleted, and you end up empty handed. So it's not going to give you the outcome that you're looking for if that's what you're dealing with, okay? What I'm also sensing as well is deceptions, communications coming through. People telling you that, oh, I'm so swamped. I really need your help. And no, they don't. So be careful about where you expend your energy. If this is like a recurring issue with a specific person, they are more than capable of taking care of themselves. They need to be responsible for their own, for their own life. And I feel like you've done this a lot of you provided a lot of support, a lot of help in the past, and they're taking you for granted, and they're taking advantage of it, okay? So they need to learn to handle things on their own. um Honestly, conserve your energy, Capricorn. Don't spread yourself too thin helping other people. And because I feel like other people are not appreciative, and they feel like they feel like it's okay for them to do it to you. But when you need something, they're not there. So just be careful about that. Finances will start to pick up. I do feel a lot of you have some financial worries. A lot of you are feeling like, oh, a little bit kind of nervous. But I do sense the financial situation will start to pick up. Okay, let me see if there's anything else coming through. In terms of legal issues, if you are in any type of a legal battle regarding child custody, things like that, I do feel they will end up in your favor. I do feel that it says to me the perpetrator will be caught. So depending on which side of the coin you're on, I do feel justice will be served in the manner that is fair, in the manner that is, preordained. So I definitely feel that coming through, and I do sense that things are going to be good for you. Um, I see you trying to walk away from a fire sign, and I do sense them, in the past they might have taken you for granted, and now they're like pleading with you. They're trying to make a case, and I see you going back, and I see you ending up empty-handed once more. So be careful, okay? Um, a lot of changes need to happen in your life, so don't go back to old energies. I feel that the old energy is very stagnating. It's very it just seems almost as if people are really taking advantage of you, Capricorns. So don't go back to old energies. And if you're dealing with a fire sign, I do feel that, you might have threatened to walk away. Like, if you don't change, I'm just going to cut my losses. And now this time they know that you're serious, and they're like following you. They're trying to get you back. They're trying to communicate with you, but it's the same old spiel that they're giving you. So they're giving you the runaround. I see something very cyclical happening. It's like the same story repeating over and over and over again. Save yourself the trouble, okay? Just move on. Conserve your energy would clear up by then, okay? So you have good things in your future. So look forward to the future rather than the past. Okay, so Aquarius, welcome to your reading. One of the first thing that really jumped out at me here is that I feel for a lot of you, you have somebody in your life that is, for some reason, I feel like there's a lot of attraction. But the attraction, like, the physical attraction, sometimes it can be very, very good, but sometimes it can be very destabilizing. So I feel like this is the latter kind where it is emotionally destabilizing. There's this very strong sense of physical attraction towards another person. They seem to be very different from you culturally, ethnically, linguistically even. It seems like the way that you do things, the way you approach life, the things you want, your value system, it's very, very different. And together there's this very strong, really, really polar opposite energy exchange between you and that other person. And every time you interact with them, it seems very exciting, but it's very emotionally destabilizing. And I really want you to get this situation under control within yourself, okay? Figure out why you keep going back and interacting with them, because I feel like it's not entirely positive. And I do feel a lot of flirtatiousness coming through from their end. You're not an overtly flirtatious sign. You're an air sign, and you rule the mind and the intellect and the communications. So I feel like the other person, though, there's a lot of flirtatiousness. They're just like dripping with honey, and the way they talk, the way they act, the way they behave, it exudes flirtatiousness, sexuality, and I feel like it's something that seems almost to me like it's foreign to you, and as a result of it, you're very attracted to this person. Um, I don't feel the attraction is great. Like it's good for you, so you want to reassess. Okay. What I do sense is for a lot of you, you might be contemplating a major journey, voyage, move overseas, or over like a far away move. It could be, across the state. I don't feel like it's down the street. I don't feel it's within like the 1 hour radius, driving distance. I feel a lot of you are possibly moving, are possibly contemplating a move. And what I'm seeing is there's a lot of opportunities opening up for you, because what's in your future position is the World card. And the World card is, expansion, expanding your physical location, expanding your consciousness, expanding your intellectual capability. So this is like a lot of new opportunities for growth, for expansion coming through in love, in work, in, title positions as well. A lot of you might be moving for a job, honestly. I do see new work coming through as well. I do feel like if you have been looking for work, I do sense it coming through. So a lot of you might be contemplating a new job, might be contemplating a move, might be, uh, flip-flopping back and forth. Where should I stay or should I go in terms of a major career move? So it looks very positive. You're showing up here as the Knight of Swords in the reverse position. And I feel like your energy, your ability to think clearly, your ability to see things objectively is a little bit blocked, okay? And it's being clouded by your emotion, by your wishful thinking. And what that means to me is that your ability to think here, you're showing up as well as the Page of Cups, which means that it's a very naive, very young, very hopeful, optimistic type of energy. And that's great that you're exhibiting these signs, these qualities. But I do sense that it's really important for you to think about things a little bit more long term, to not act unless you have thought something through and see something in a realistic light, okay? That's what's really important here because it's telling you focus on your career, focus on your finances. Love will come when it's the right time, and it will definitely come to you in a manner where you both start out as friends. So this is like the typical Aquarius ideal for a love relationship. Ideally, you want to like start out as friends, have that friendship foundation, and then, over time, you start to become attracted to each other, and then you develop a love relationship. And that is something that you've always dreamed about, and that's something that's going to withstand the test of time. That is your ideal relationship. What you're encountering right now is like this really, really jarring, magnetic, physical attraction to another person. And I feel like the other person is might be leading you on a little bit, okay? So they're like not really sure. They're flip-flopping back and forth. They have financial issues that they're trying to work out. They're lacking stability in their own life, in their own self. And they're looking for admiration, adoration, and compliments from other people in order to make themselves feel good. So does that make sense? I feel like someone is like they need a self-esteem boost from their external environment, and I feel like you're falling into that trap. Okay, so just be mindful of that. If that sounds like somebody that you're dealing with, just be careful. For those of you who are dealing with a water sign, I have the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups coming up, and we had two of these people come up in the general reading. So I feel like you're dealing with the same types of energy. What's happening here is that I do feel the energy shift, okay? So if you're dealing with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, I feel this person looking at you from afar. I see them looking at your pictures, looking at things that you've done, looking at things you publish, not in a creepy, stalky way. I feel that they're admiring you, and they're very shy, and they don't really know how to approach you. That's what I'm sensing. I do feel their financial situation needs a lot of work, and they don't think they have enough to offer you. You're showing up here as the world, and they're showing up here as the Knight of Cups, and all they have is this cup, this love, this friendship. And they feel like if you're the world, if you, which is the Aquarius male or female, if you have everything, if you're out chasing the world, if you're out, living the dream, living the life, they don't feel like they have enough to offer you. They feel like they're going to be a burden on you, or they feel as if your lifestyle is going to be a burden on them and their finances. So I feel like they care about you, they like you, but they're still deep down a little bit innately selfish because they don't know how to be a team player. And Aquarius, you're very, very good at, working together as a unit, and you're a very independent sign. And even Aquarius, women, men, women, that are Aquarius, you're very independent, you're self-sufficient, you know how to take care of yourself. In relationships, even you don't really abide by those traditional gender roles. So even if you're like a self-identified Aquarius woman, if you go on a date, you don't expect the guy to pay for everything. And I feel like the person you're dealing with is very old school, it's very traditional, it's very like it seems like they've got something that they want to prove. And it seems to me as if they're so used to taking care of other people that they don't know how to be a team player and let you into their lives to take care of them. So that's what you're dealing with here. And if you want this situation to progress, you need to, talk to them about that. Like, what are your expectations versus what are my expectations? And arrive at some type of truce or middle ground, okay? Because you're approaching this from a very egalitarian perspective, and they're approaching this from like, I want to take care of the people that I'm in a relationship with. I want to be like the man or the woman in the relationship where I take care of everything. So that's a very it's the beginning of a codependent toxic relationship with that mentality. So I feel like sitting down, talking to this person, if you like this person, if you want things to work, if you want to like iron things out before you take things to the next level, that might be important for you. That might be like one of the major breakthroughs in the relationship that can happen, okay? On the other hand, if you're dealing with an earth sign, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, I do sense a lot of you might be juggling two people. In the center of the spread, we've got the Two of Pentacles. That's the juggler. Juggling your emotional state, trying to find balance. I don't feel financially you're in dire strait. I don't feel your financial situation is like problematic. So I feel like it's more on the emotional front that you're juggling. And you might be juggling two people. So I feel like we have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups right next to each other. You like the water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I do feel mutual attraction, mutual affection. Okay, and I do feel like it's a very comforting person. On the other hand, you've got the earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and this person is very financially stable. I feel like they're very eloquent. They dress very well. They look really nice. They dress the part. They're kind of like, um, it seems like they just look really good, but they have a lot of options. They're looking at their options and they're not ready to settle. So I see them looking at all the potential in life. They're not really relationship oriented right now. It doesn't mean that they don't want a relationship. It just means that they're very slow to act. They plan everything out very methodically before they act. And that's just the way it is. So love, relationships, commitment is really not high on their priority right now because their world is opening up, okay? What I'm also feeling is like I feel there is some communication coming through from a water sign. I see some type of offer, some type of reconciliation, some type of coming together with a water sign. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But I feel like for those of you who are traveling, I see the travel happens first before the coming together. I don't see you traveling to see them. I feel you traveling kind of away, and then they might realize, oh crap, I'm losing you. So, they might contact you and try to get some type of communication up and running, okay? So, honestly, Aquarius, just draw back your energy, focus on you, focus on where you need to be for the next few years, focus on stabilizing your emotions, okay? That's one area that you've always had trouble with. And it doesn't, you're not stirred very often by other people. When somebody stirs your passion, just try to make sure that you still act rationally and that you don't um, make rash decisions, okay? Now, the last card that we are ending with at the on the bottom of the deck is the Six of Pentacles. If somebody has been, okay, and I feel like one person is going to like offer more of a commitment. I don't know if that's from you to another person. That's from, I don't know if that's from like the water sign right now is like ready to offer something, and the earth sign might not be. So if like I see something being taken more seriously, I see the juggling act stopping. So it means, you might take a situation to the next level. You might offer something, or they might offer something. If you Either way, I feel the juggling act is stopping. I see some truth being reached, some compromise is happening for you. Okay? So overall, it looks very good, Aquarius. It's a little bit confusing because I feel like you're going to be very emotional this month, and that's a weird energy that I get for Aquarius. But I feel like that's what's happening here. You have a lot on your plate, a lot of responsibilities as well. Don't be swept away in the whirlwind of this romance and get swept away. So just be careful about that, okay? I know it's a little bit love heavy, but I try to, just read whatever comes through. So that's what it seems like to me. I see some pictures. I see some people looking at your pictures. I don't know if you're doing this like through social media, but I feel like you sharing pictures, you posting a lot of pictures. I see pictures by water. You might be traveling by water, and I see like someone, it's really catching somebody's eyes. Um, for some reason, for women, I see you in a bikini, pictures in a bikini. I don't know why you're doing that. It could just be, just something that you do. And then I see pictures. And somebody that you like looking through your pictures, and they do like what they see, but just, cover yourself up. I feel like I feel like it's a very provocative picture. But either next up we have Pisces. Pisces, July 15th, July 31st. Hello there, Pisces. So welcome to your, but I feel like overall it's all about knowing where you stand with other people, seeing people's true colors, knowing who you can trust, knowing who has always been there for you, who has your back, and the ones that don't, knowing that it's better for you, your emotional health, your mental health, and for your well-being to scrap them away from your life. I do see some people showing their true colors. I do feel like there's a major conflict brewing here. I have the Five of Pentacles, I'm sorry, the Five of Wands in the middle of the spread, which indicates to me traditionally it's a very conflict-laden type of an energy, and you have to navigate this situation. The wands indicate the fire suit, and you're a water sign, so I feel like this is not something that you're very good at navigating, but you are going to have to stand firm. You have to be direct clear, honest, truthful. Those are the four qualities that will bring you the greatest rewards. And those are the four qualities that the universe is trying to cultivate and to bring forth within you. So speak your truth, okay? And do it in a very concise, direct manner. Otherwise, you're not going to have to achieve the result that you're looking for. That's what I'm sensing here. Don't be evasive. Don't be passive aggressive. Say what you need to say in a very clear, well thought out, short, concise as well manner, and leave it alone. Okay, so the energy is a little bit combative, and I also feel like it's just fire energy that's a little bit problematic for you to muster up. So be frank, direct, and truthful. I do sense some information coming to light that is going to be emotionally destabilizing. But I feel like the information is coming to light mainly because it was preordained to come to the surface. So if you're in a work environment and if you have ever been cutting corners, or if you work as a team with another person and they're somehow cutting corners, and in the past, if you have been passive and you just, let the situation slide, I feel like the past coming back to haunt us, where your supervisor might catch this, your manager might see some things that were like where someone was cutting corners, and they might hold you accountable. And I feel some discord with coworkers, with people in your work environment, where they might tell you, they might tell the higher ups, oh, I did this, but the Pisces, was supposed to look it over, but they didn't. So they might like, save their butts by telling lies. And I feel like it's really important for you, if you're put in that situation, to protect the that relationship, to protect that friendship, to protect that colleague relationship. People have shown their true colors, so you don't really need to protect them. They brought it upon themselves. So at that point, it's really important for you to let the truth out, to tell the supervisor or the manager, no, it wasn't me. This is exactly what went down, and this is how things transpired. It's really important for you not to hold things in, okay? I do see some people leaving your life because they have shown themselves to be less than reliable, less than honest, and less than courageous when they are called upon to stand up and, stand up to the truth. I feel like you're dealing with some cowards and their colors are going to be shown. And I feel like a lot of you are looking at this situation like you've known it all along. You're just waiting for this moment to come to light. But I also feel like a lot of you, you want to be careful about who you surround yourself with, Pisces. You want to be very, very careful, because I feel like, so, Pisces is the sign of the two fish. And when I think of Pisces, I think of the school of fish where there's like safety in numbers. So when a lot of fish get around, there's like gossip as well. So just think as like, three is a crowd. Just think of like all the potential. On the one hand, people bring you emotional stability and security, but hanging around with the wrong types of people breeds a lot of mistrust, a lot of gossip, a lot of drama. And you're a water sign, so you absorb everybody's energy. So surrounding yourself with people that don't add value to your life, that don't have your best interests at heart, that, wimp out when the goings gets rough, there's no need to, absorb, or there's no need to like cling on to that type of energy. So I feel like a lot of you might be put on the spot, and you might be asked by a person in authority to reveal the truth. And a lot of you might shy away from it because you don't want the truth to hurt somebody that you care about or somebody that you work with. So you're keeping quiet. And I'm urged to ask you, who is it that you're protecting? And if the shoe were on the other foot, would they do the same for you? I don't feel that they would. So just be mindful about who you surround yourself with, who has your best interests at heart, who you can trust, because I feel like information coming to light regarding somebody's fidelity, somebody's faithfulness, somebody's honesty, somebody you care about, somebody that you thought was a good person. All of it is coming to light. It's like blowing up. So, something to keep in mind about, okay? If you've been involved in a very conflictual situation, I feel like possibly with a fire sign. So this is Aries, Sagittarius, and Leos. I don't know if there's like some type of court situation. If it's a court situation, I see the end to this relationship. It's irreparable. Irreparable, I guess. Irreparable. It cannot be repaired. So I feel like that relationship is out of the picture, okay? I see new beginnings. I see like some type of justice being dished out and a new beginning coming right on the heels of that. It's going to bring an end to conflict. I see you taking a little bit of a loss. I don't feel like yeah, I feel like it might be an emotional loss and a financial loss. We're going from a 5 to a 3. And then on the financial front, we're going from a 4 to a 3. I do see some financial loss and some emotional losses on your end. So it's really important for you to realize, what am I really aspiring to? What am I fighting for? Is it worth it anymore? Can this be done in a smarter manner? Can this be settled outside of court? So these are things to, really think about. If you're dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, this can go two ways. The first thing I'm seeing is a lot of you might see this person's true colors. That can be good or bad depending on which side of the coin you've been operating on. So you might see that, they hold everything very, very close to their chest. They reveal things at the very last minute, and it causes like, a major, major turning point in a storyline. So if you've been going along, you're just like, oh, this is how it is. I feel like this person busting out with some surprises, okay, might not be good for you. On the other hand, I feel like this person, I feel like there is some fire sign, I'm sorry, earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn in the picture, and you don't know how you feel about this person. I feel like you don't really trust them. You think they're a seedy character. I don't feel they're all that bad. I feel like what you see is pretty much what you get with this earth sign. They're very they mind their own business. They're not nosy, and they live and let live. So, I feel like you don't trust them. Somehow, I feel like there's a sense of mistrust here with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Um, I feel like this person emotionally destabilizes you. So their presence seems a little bit like off. When you're around them, I feel like you're a little bit thrown off kilter. You don't really know what to expect from them. So I do feel like there is some attraction as well. If you're dealing with in a relationship with them and one person has been doing all the work, I do feel this person being removed from your life as well. So I do sense by the end of this month, the energy that's coming through is more like new beginnings, new work situations, expansion, opportunities for expansion. A lot of you, if you're working with an earth sign, and like if you're supposed to work together, if you're supposed to collaborate, or if you're in a partnership, work partnership with an earth sign, I feel like a lot of you have been carrying the weight, the burden of that entire relationship, and you're going to have to cut your losses and move on your own, because you're realizing this earth sign is not doing their fair share of the work, okay? So once again, the financial situation looks very good at the end of this month. I do feel that you can rebuild your empire, you can expand, you can learn new things, and you can, get yourself back on top once again. I do feel a period of 3 months to get yourself back on track is in order financially. Emotionally, I feel like 3 months as well, but I do feel that The new beginning is going to be like a breath of fresh air. You can, exhale, you can breathe, you can, be glad that, oh, this is over. I'm going to leave all of that behind and I'm going to move on to a new phase in my life. So I feel like relatively it's good energy, bringing in a lot more abundance, but the abundance is going to take like 3 months for it to come in for you. Okay. Let me see what else is coming through. I see court issues, so I don't know if you guys are getting divorced or if there are other work annoyances that's being brought up in court. So I do see something like that. Let me see if there's anything else here. Yeah, I see a lot of walking away, a lot of cutting your losses. And across the board, this is a major theme across um, all signs, especially the water signs. I haven't done Cancer yet. I'm doing this starting with Virgo, but I feel like it was there for Scorpio and it's here for you. And it was there for a lot of other signs about walking away, cutting your losses, seeing people's true colors. Seeing people's true colors, that's very indicative of, what do I do now when someone has revealed their true colors? I can't pretend that I didn't see it. A lot of you might be in that denial stage, honestly. And I feel like, you're highly intuitive and you've known this all along. And I feel like a lot of you were living in denial about this person's true motives and their true characters. And now that everything is out in the public, you can't deny it anymore and you're going to have to make some adjustments. Okay, I see adjustments coming through, positive changes as well. So let the situation go, don't hold on so tightly to it, especially if you're involved with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If you're involved with a fire sign who hasn't been doing their fair share of the work to maintain the relationship, or they might have been like, I'll take what I can get, and they come in when they need something but they're out the door as soon as their needs are met. I feel you're putting an end to that, and you're not going to you're not going to entertain any type of a reconciliation with that person. So Pisces, I do wish you the